Hello everyone, I am Dr. Soumya Das, Associate Professor from Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida. So, students, you already know we are dealing with the subject Pharmacovigilance, final year B Pharmacy course with the subject code BP 805 ET. So, today we are discussing the lecture number 15 of Unit 2. The topic of today's lecture is basic drug information resources which are commonly used in pharmacovigilance. Okay, so I hope you already know detailed about what exactly the term pharmacovigilance is. Again, I am revising in brief. Pharmacovigilance is the study of the undesirable, or we can say the side effect or adverse drug reactions of any medicament, any category or class of drug which individual is facing, and how we means we the pharmacist, clinical physician, okay, we can how overcome these associated problems with each medicament to every individual. So, today's topic is basic drug information resources. Resources means from where we can get the detailed information, literature. So, there are various resources we will see in our later few slides in this PPT. So, let us start with lecture number 15. Before going the types of drug information resources, students, you should know what exactly the drug information word mean. So, because as a pharmacology people we are dealing with drug. So, you already know in Latin Greek word drug, D-R-O-G-U-E, drug means a crude form or the raw form of the drug, which basically have the pharmacological or therapeutic potential. When any individual is taking the drug, it will treat the patient from that particular illness. Okay, but not only in the positive manner, it will have its associated negative, or we can say the undesirable, unwanted side effect, which we are dealing or study in the subject pharmacovigilance. Basically, we are focusing in two aspects. One is adverse drug reactions and adverse drug events. So, here in this lecture, I will tell you how are the different, we can get the detailed information from various sources, the drug related information in aspect of both. Positive means desirable and negative means undesirable side effect, ADR, like responses. Okay. So, that this is very important to know these undesirable, unwanted effect, because after knowing this we can overcome other health related deleterious effects on the patients. So, drug information is current means newly adapted, critically examined, because drug is associated with both pharmacological as well as adverse drug reactions like reactions. Relevant data information about the drug and its use. Use means against which disease or disorder the particular class of drug is prescribed. Use in a given patient or under a particular situation. Particular situation means, student, the patient may sometime not only suffered from a disease, but he or she may feel some disorder in their normal homeostasis, in their normal functioning of lifestyle. Okay. So, this is considered to be a morbidity, okay, the change in the functioning of normal organization system. So, that is why the patient referred to their physician or healthcare staff. So, the healthcare staff or the physician prescribe the medicine. After taking the medicine, the patient is having both type of reaction. He or she may feel positive, benefited from the drug, but drug is always associated with small side, we can say small quantity of undesirable side effect, or we can say adverse drug reaction. That is what we study or focused in our subject pharmacovigilance. So, drug information is currently critically examined. It is very important. We can't leave, we can't say this is, we can't focus on this parameter. We have to be serious. That is why the pharmacovigilance, be active, be vigilant about the deleterious side effect part of the drug. Examine relevant data about the drug and drug use in a given patient or any condition in a patient. So, let us go in detail. A, it the drug information resources gives a detailed information, or we can say the current information, which we can use for the most recent means updated, the latest information, up to date sources as maximum as possible. Second, it is critically examined. What is critically examined? The unwanted side effects associated with any medicament. Critically examined information should be required to meet the following criteria. So, what are these criteria, students? These are 3 important criteria written here. First one is more than one source. Source here we are discussing about the drug information resources, or the source from where we can get the detailed information in aspect of their pharmacological and therapeutical and their physicochemical properties about the API or the drug, main drug. So, more than one source should be used when appropriate. It means we can't focus, we should not focus on a single source. Okay, we should refer, like same as when you are studying any subject like say pharmacology. So, you are not only referring single book, you have to refer 2 or 3 books for your in depth or more knowledge. Same as here, we should not focus or stick to any single source. We should refer 2 or more than 2 sources. The extent of agreement of sources should be determined. It means, students, the agreement of source means the authenticity of the source from where you get the data about the drug, because the drug, we will see, the action drug is given to the patient, it is directly related to the patient's individual's life. So, the extent of agreement of source should be properly determined. Third one is the possibility of information, means the predictability, or we can say the probability of the information from the source you may get is basically based on the clinical circumstances. It means, students, clinical circumstances, the condition of individual's patient. Suppose, for example, if any patient is suffering from cancer, so we know there are so many types of cancer, and the grade of cancer is vary from individual to individual, which can be told by the physician only, okay, the oncologist. So, it is grade 1, 2, 3 or last stage grade 4, that upon this, after checking proper diagnosis of the patient, the physician will prescribe the certain medicament. So, for that medicament, the resource or the source of that particular drug information we can follow not only by one source, we can follow, at least we can refer 2 or 3 information booklets. Okay. And the third C is relevant information must be presented in a manner that applies directly to the circumstances under the consideration. Consideration means the patient, same like for example, last stage cancer, metastasis patient. So, the class of drug given to the last stage of cancer patient, the information should be authentic, properly rechecked from other physician, it should be cross matched. Okay. For example, we should check the patient's parameter, the gender, body weight, what different physicochemical as well as homeostasis, different organization system parameters which will differ from individual to individual, the age, body weight, okay, the dietary condition of the patient parameter. Then we should focus on the therapeutic objectives. Therapeutic objective means the class of the drug basically affecting which organ, or the patient is suffering from which organization system or the organ system disease. So, we should focus on the therapeutic objectives or the parameters of that particular class of drug. And if there is any alternative approach is available, we can also go for that. Like after taking certain drug like methotrexate for anti-cancer drug for last stage cancer patient, okay, alkylating agent methotrexate, you know, everyone know. So, after getting this, the patient is feeling more nausea and vomiting and baldness, so many symptoms, he is not able to take that particular drug. So, there should be a possibility to change the salt or alternate the drug for that particular patient. So, that is coming under the alternative approaches, Okay, like you know, in the cancer therapy, cancer chemotherapy, we have radiotherapy, surgery, cancer, anti-cancerous drug treatment. So, that is coming under the alternative approaches for the treatment of any disease. Let us go further. Now, coming to various resources, because we are dealing today, the topic is drug information resources. So, students, there are basically 3 resources available for the detailed information about individual class of drug. The first one is the primary resource, second is the secondary resources of drug information, and third is the tertiary resource. So, as the name depicts, you all know the primary means first come first. So, here the researchers as well as the manufacturers both are actively involved. Researchers, because we all are researchers, we are doing research during the drug discovery pathway. We have to search literature more and more, the updated literature. We need the source of information before taking any API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, to work on that. It may be in vitro screening, in vivo, preclinical screening, or the clinical trial. So, the researchers and the manufacturers, after we get detailed clinical research data, now the activity of pharma companies or the manufacturing companies started. So, each and every manufacturers, good manufacturing company should also know the detailed information about the different class of drug, manufacturers information. Apart from that, patents containing original information. So, I hope you have idea about the patent. Patent, student, is the term which relates that if any API molecule during the drug discovery pathway or any NCE, new chemical entity, is discovered by me, or I do research on that particular moiety, I can file a patent like this particular product I have discovered, and the results on preclinical, means animal based, and clinical trial is this, and there is a title, and I have applied for patent. Okay. So, this is my product, my discovery. Okay. So, patent containing original information regarding the discovery of the drug. We can go for the patent filing, okay, then the patent will be published. This product is under your name only. Then reports containing scientific data. Scientific data, from where you get the scientific data? You can directly search for the various search engines are there, like PubMed, SCI Hub, Google Scholarly search engines. Okay. You can go for different websites, reputed journals for the search engines, okay, reputed reports containing scientific data before the product can be sold. So, for this, the researchers, the manufacturers of the company who are going to produce or manufacture this particular drug needs or follow the primary resource of drug information. It is supplied as well as well represented. The second is you can go for the scientific journals, but students, you should know there are 2 types of journal. One is peer reviewed journal and the second is the open access journal. Okay, students. So, you know there are different types of article, one is review and research articles. So, we should follow the SCI and Scopus, at least good indexed, well abstracting journals. Okay, we should not go for any simple journal with no good indexing at all. Okay, because we can say in that journals we do not have much detailed, complete or relevant data of the drug or the experimental part from that journal we can't get. So, scientific journal we should always follow good reputed journals. Second is it will provide, the primary resources provide original studies or the reports. Reports means the data, the observation, tables, graphs, original means done by the researchers itself. For example, in case of clinical trial, you can search in the Google search engine, you got several research paper and review articles based on the pharmacovigilance and clinical, preclinical studies on individual drugs. Okay, these are published in good journals. If the work is authenticated, validated, okay, we should follow that articles for our research purposes. clinical trial, then we should follow the case series report, it is also published in various journals, and the case reports. So, I hope you know you differentiate between the case series and case report. Case series means individual case pay when we are going to prescribe any class of drug like antihypertensive for BP patient, cardiovascular disease. So, again because it will lifelong drug, you know, the patient have to take antihypertensive drug lifelong. So, depending upon the condition of their heart, the dose of the drug can vary. So, he or she should report to their physician if feeling or found any adverse effect or side effect after taking same API or the drug molecule. So, case series means whether the sequence of adverse effect is repeated after certain duration of time or it will manage, and the case report, individual case report. Okay. Individual patient we have to monitor, the report, the data is generated which can be taken care by the nursing or we can say the healthcare paramedical staff. Next is the scope is narrow. This is one major drawback we can say or the limitation of primary resource, the scope is narrow. If we need to search for any specific or rare or orphan disease, for that the drug information is not in detail when we are searching primarily resource. Okay. Good, the primary resource searching is good when the topic is new and new data has been published. That is why I am telling you go for the search for the journals latest, okay, like 2021, 20, 19, 18 latest. What are the new drug discoveries and research going on that particular API or NCE molecule. Next, coming to the advantages of primary resources. You can by following the primary resource drug information, we can get most current evidences, okay, drug information resources. It will also provide the latest or complete data on the newly discovered drug. You can also personally assess the validity of the study. How you can possess? You can assess by individually performing the same type of research in your lab. You can go for the latest or reputed journals, you can read or you can go for the literature survey of that new molecule which will provide you the most current information on that particular drug, and ideally it should be the primary source for answering the therapeutic questions which is related to that particular API molecule. Journals enable the researcher, the pharmacist to keep up to date with professional news. Okay. Journals not only tell you about the drug, it will update with the professional latest news. Second, it will also tell you to how to learn the clinicians handled a particular problem. Third, it will keep up with the new development in the pathophysiology, because as a pharmacist, pharmacologist, we are dealing with the subject's pathophysiology, about the diagnostic agents and the therapeutic regimens. Therapeutic regimens means, regimen means the schedule of taking the medicament in a particular disease condition. Next, it will also help to distinguish the useful information from the useless and even the harmful therapy. Harmful therapy means the treatment which I am not feeling compatible, okay, not pleasant, it is noxious to me, I should go and report to my physician to change the drug or the salt. It will also enhance the communication with other healthcare professionals as well as with the consumers, because all of these are our important stakeholders. Okay, we have to keep a watch on these links to work in the pharmacovigilance fruitfully. Obtain continuing education credit, and it will share the opinion with other healthcare professionals through letters to the editor. It will also prepare for the board certification examination in pharmacotherapy, nutrition, support as well as in oncology field. Some of the disadvantage of primary resources are, it may not lead one to the best decision because of its limited scope. We have seen in our earlier slides also. Data can be poor or sometimes controversial. Every study, we can say everything is not ideal. So, it is also have two important limitation. First, it is too complex for patient. because the publication or the published article is sometimes not known, the journal is not very good or indexed, validated. Second, many of the article possess inadequacies that later become apparent as the ability to evaluate the drug information, which will get improved further. Coming to the secondary resource. Secondary resource students, the small abstract or just the indexed which will summarize the information that is arises from the primary sources of the drug information. Here again we have to focus on the indexing and abstracting part of the journal for the quick and selective screening of the primary literature for the detailed drug information, the data citation and to search about the various articles. So, there are three type of abstracts: telegraphic abstract, indicative abstract and informative abstract. Here the bibliographic database, which is also important to provide good idea we can say about the abstract and full text about the study of that particular class of drug. Now, coming to the advantages of secondary resources, one main advantage is this secondary resource can construct very good search engine to find the specific information at high granularity. Granularity means it will go and tell you about the depth, the lowest level knowledge. The disadvantages are it is often require more expertise to use as compared to the primary and tertiary resources. The data retrieved from the secondary resource must be filtered for the quality checking. It must track down the resources before looking for the complete detailed answers. It is sometimes become too complex for individuals to understand, to follow, and generally interpretations of a study, and it may be sometimes doing misinterpretation of the information, important information related to the class of drug the patient is taken. Pharmacist should also obtain and evaluate the original article. That why I am telling you students, please follow and refer the good abstracting and indexing journals, okay, for the research work. Now, coming to the tertiary resource, it is nothing but the compilation of knowledge in the field of textbook. Basically, we have to go for the basic information, that is the tertiary resource of drug information, textbook, handbook and some other online drug compendia, good for the background questions, the basic, and its scope is broad and wide. The advantages of secondary resources is it is well provide the comprehensive information in short in a textbook as a handbook knowledge. Second, information reflects the view of multiple experts in that particular field. It is fast, easy to use and may be good for the patients services, and its disadvantages are it is usually at least need 2 years out of date by publication, because whenever you follow any book you will see there are reprints available in 2 and 5 years of gap. So, the latest updated information is sometimes missing in that particular. So, you have to follow the latest revised version of your textbook. High dependency on the interpretation of author. This is also one of the main disadvantage we can say, the drawback, demerit of tertiary resource. So, pharmacists can address this by consulting at least 2 different textbooks. Now, when we are going to compare the tertiary and secondary resource, the strategies of selecting drug information both are good at different terminology. Tertiary resources are good when the answer to a question we need is basic knowledge in that particular field. The question was studied extensively, means the question which may be arises asked by the patient or their family members or the society or directly from the physician, it is extensively and a conclusion was we have to make. So, we have to go with the basic textbook knowledge. Many experts have addressed the question and agree on their answers. Now, the secondary and the primary resource are good. We have to follow primary and secondary resource when the question is completely new and never has been asked and studied in detail. Second, there is no consensus among the experts Experts means who are working on that particular field, area, on that drug, on that particular research. So, when there is no conflict, no confusion, so we should follow the primary and secondary resource. Various opinions are bound. There is conflicting evidence and the question needs further studies. So, for in-depth knowledge, we should follow the primary and secondary resource. Apart from that, student, we have one more, internet resources, internet as a drug information source. So, we have various web search engines for the drug information. Benefits of the internet resources are like search for recently published and discussed in the media. Okay, you can get the various newspaper, newsletter through the journals, internet source. The company specific information you can also get directly from the websites. Issues currently in the news you can get from the internet resource, and the government agency news, the changes done followed by different countries government, it is there in the net. Okay. The limitation of internet resources, the information may not be sometimes peer reviewed or edited before the release. Okay. So, that is sometimes causes the misconception or misunderstanding between the layman or who are reading to for their interest of information. Information that is why it is written, information sometimes not reliable. So, there have a URL address link, I am giving some of the links here. One is http://dda.gov.np, another one is www.nepalpharmacycouncil.org.np. Here it is for Nepal. Again for India we have indiapharmacycouncil.org.np, and another is the nhrc.org.np. So, these are some of the internet resources information. That is all about the various drug information resources. See you in our next class. Thank you.